The following segment was recorded on December 21st, 2016 on the Sackheads Radio Show, www.shrmedia.com.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
So the last couple minutes here, I want to talk a little bit about the movie Patriots Day that just opened. Patriots Day is a Mark Wahlberg film about the Boston Marathon bombings.
Have you seen it, by the way?
I have not.
Is it out now?
It's on my list. It is out, and I've heard that it's amazing. I heard that he did an unbelievable, great job at it. His character, from what I understand, is not a specific officer as much as a composition of a bunch of different officers and portions of different stories and stuff. They do have a lot of specific incidents with actual officers. The Watertown police lieutenant, who's played by J.K. Simmonds.
An excellent actor.
Excellent actor.
If you guys didn't see Whiplash with him,
great movie.
That was incredible acting.
And he's just really, really good anyhow. But he plays a Watertown police lieutenant who is actually engaged in the shooting during the attacks. There's a lot of people into it. John Goodman plays the former police commissioner. They did a really good job with it, from what I'm being told, and I can't wait to see it. One thing they did omit, and I want to talk about this because it matters. We understand that there were 4 individuals that were killed during the bombings. Countless others injured. We understand that MIT police officer Shaun was executed by the Tsarnaev brothers. And then the shootout in Watertown, in which MBTA police sergeant, or officer at the time, they promoted him, Dick Donahue, was injured to the point that his career ended. But there was also another police officer that was injured and died as a result of his injuries almost a year later.
I did not hear of that.
His name is Officer DJ Simmonds. Dennis Simmonds is his full name. He goes by DJ. He was injured when the pipe bomb exploded while he was working the marathon. He died. I'm sorry, not during the marathon. He was part of the response in Watertown, in which Dzhokhar and Tsarnaev is believed to have thrown one of the pipe bombs or kettle bombs that detonated near him. A year later, while he was working out at the Boston Police Academy gym, he suffered a fatal brain injury, aneurysm, and passed away. Because of the injury and the way it was, the state retirement board rewarded his family a line-of-duty death benefit, as the medical panel found that the aneurysm was most likely caused by his injuries during the bombing.
Excellent.
He was buried with full honors for an officer who was killed in the line of duty. Everybody not only hails him as a hero, but understands the fact that he died as a result of the marathon bombing. He's the 5th death in the initial bombing. A young man who served the city he grew up in, from what anybody who's ever met him said, he was an unbelievable cop and an unbelievable person, and he was there doing the right thing for the right reason. He loved to serve people. He loved to serve his city. He was one of those guys when the shooting started in Watertown. And folks, if you've never listened to the police radio tapes, go to YouTube and search Watertown police shootings. You can listen to the entire tape from the time that they dispatch MIT police to look for Shaun Collier right through to the very, very end. You can listen to it, and it's about 18 hours. It's all there. From the time that they pull Dzhokhar Tsarnaev out of the boat, all of that is there, and you can listen to it. But listen to the initial engagement between law enforcement and the Tsarnaev brothers in Watertown that evening. You can hear the explosions going off. You can hear the gunfire. DJ Simmonds was one of those officers that responded to apprehend these individuals, knowing they were the marathon bombers, and knowing everybody in that law enforcement community there knew that they killed Shaun Collier at that point. They knew who they were going after, and he responded. As a result of his response, and if you listen to the tape, they weren't dispatched. When they found out Watertown, which is a small town just west of Boston, the entire Northeast was responding to help those officers out, including the City of Boston Police Department. They weren't waiting to be dispatched. They just started going. They knew who they were going after, and they knew they had to get them. As a result, as I said, Officer DJ Simmonds passed away from the aneurysm. My message right now is to Mark Wahlberg. On the list of those who died during the marathon bombings, they omitted the name DJ Simmonds on Patriots Day movie. They listed everybody else who had perished, including Officer Collier. They did not list DJ Simmonds. Mark, you and I are from the same place. We went very different roads in life. You went with the good-looking, famous route, and I went with the chubby kind of radio show host route. Either way, we both come from the same area. I truly believe that you love your city, and I truly believe that you loved law enforcement. You were a kid who had your brushes with law enforcement as a young man and has turned your life around.
He did, in fact.
Both he and his brother. His brother, who produced Boston's Finest, which was a show about the Boston Police Department.
Donnie Wahlberg.
Donnie
right?
Wahlberg, and is a huge supporter of law enforcement. And Mark has been no different. He's always held law enforcement in high respect in his public life. He's done a very, very good job. He donates. He spends time. He really gives back to that community. I really think highly of Mark and Donnie Wahlberg for what they've done for the city of Boston in general and specifically law enforcement. They've shown them in a human light and making them people and showing you the dangers that they go through every day. I know that I don't think that he would intentionally omit DJ Simmonds for any other reason than an oversight. Mark, from one Boston kid to another, you have a chance to change that. You have a chance to add him to any new reels that's coming out. You have a chance to make a statement to not only the city of Boston, but his family, who lost DJ to a terrorist attack, responding as a peace officer. You have that opportunity to do that. You have that opportunity to make this right. I believe in everything that you're doing. I'm glad you made this movie. If anyone ever read my response to the Boston Marathon attack, you know how personally I took this as an individual, just like the city did. I'm sure you sat in horror as I did as they searched for these animals, and they eventually caught one and killed the other. And it drove you to make this movie. Take it one step further. Right this wrong. Add his name to the list. It's not hard to do, but it's important. Not for the city of Boston, but for his family to know that his sacrifice did not go in vain. And some people may say, oh, it's only a movie, it's not a big deal. When you're being listed as victims to millions of people throughout this country, and especially right now, with the view of law enforcement by many of this country, it is important that all of the victims are listed, and that he is listed upon those victims of the Boston Marathon bombers. It was a terrorist attack that he died in. It didn't matter if he died immediately or a year later. It's no different than what happened in 9/11. All those officers and rescue workers who died years later of cancer, they still died on 9/11 because that's what led to their illness. And this is no different. So, Mark, you want to call in and talk about it? I'll give you the number. Tweet me at Edge of Liberty. But you have the chance to make this right, and I think you need to do that, and you know it. And I have faith that you'll do it.